Richard, I wanted to have you on the show. Obviously, you come on the show with us a lot, but you know, there were a lot of questions I think this week about, you know, the huge, you know, storm that hit the Northeast, and you know, how it would impact our insurance rates in Florida. And I wanted to allow you to come on and talk about that a little bit.
Well, yeah, it's certainly been a big week in the insurance business. We don't like to see things like this happening, and it's never fun in the insurance business when we have occurrences like this. And you know, been reading a lot of information out there that people already chiming in on whether Hurricane Sandy will or will not affect our rates. And to be honest with you, I don't think anybody really knows for sure how that's going to affect us yet. A lot of people, you know, and these are people up in the insurance industry dealing directly with reinsurance companies, you know, the companies that offer insurance to the big insurance companies and insure them against losses. You know, there's been a lot of people saying that, yeah, because of this big occurrence, reinsurance rates are going to go up. You know, the rates that insurance companies pay to protect themselves against giant losses like this, and therefore it's going to trickle down. And then there's been other people out there who say, well, no, that's going to happen in the Northeast, but it's not really going to affect us here in Florida. And I even heard the term this week, what happens in Florida stays in Florida. So, you know, I think the jury's still out right now. It's a little early for us to tell, but you know, I could definitely see those reinsurance rates creeping up over the next couple of years, because now we have places that have traditionally never had to really deal with hurricanes, and now all of a sudden the reinsurers are going to have to figure in hurricanes when they're figuring in overall rates across the country.
So they're figuring in, you know, example would be maybe if they're underinsured or they're undercharging in New York, you know, they've got to make that up.
Exactly, exactly. Now, the law doesn't allow them to increase Florida's rates to make up for losses in New York. Okay, that can't happen. But when they're looking at overall rates across the country, and they used to look at the country and say, okay, well, hurricanes we only have to worry about in this little corner of the country down here, Florida, Alabama, Louisiana, maybe Texas. You know, that's a real small area of the country, and that's the only place that we have to figure in these catastrophic hurricane losses. Now they're looking at a map of the country, and now they're going, well, no, it's not just that little southeast corner of the country anymore. Now it's all the way up and down the East Coast as well as the Gulf Coast. So
it's like the whole country now.
Yeah. So basically, you know, we have to figure those in when we're trying to determine what our losses are going to be.
So great reminder for people out there, though, in areas of Florida that aren't required to have flood insurance, to think about it, because there were a lot of portions of the Northeast that were impacted by these storms that were not in FEMA flood zones, but there was a lot of flooding and a lot of damage that now they're going to have struggles with their insurance, because was it a flood, was it a wind damage issue, and you know, for the cost on people that aren't in mandatory flood zone, it's pretty minimal.
Right, and as a result of Hurricane Katrina, the United States Supreme Court already ruled that yes, storm surge is considered a flood. So if you live, you know, 10 miles inland and storm surge reached 10 miles inland, but you weren't in a flood zone,
it's a flood.
It's a flood, and you're not insured unless you have flood insurance. So
I think it's really crucial right now, if they're out there, this is a good wake-up call for some people that probably need to go really think about getting flood insurance.
Right, yeah. I think there were a lot of people inland in New Jersey that wish they had flood insurance.
Because now their damage is not going to be covered, and they're going to have some issues fighting with their insurance company, or total losses on homes that they have mortgages on. You know, and that's where I kind of want to take it to the next point. So while it may not necessarily impact the insurance market, or we're not really sure yet, it will impact our economy and our real estate market. I mean, you look at tourism. You have a lot of people from up north that come down here during the holidays, during November and December for vacations. A lot of those people probably won't be coming now because they're going to be dealing with the mess up there. Some of them will still come, but you're going to eliminate some people traveling there. We also have a huge portion of our real estate market are people from up north that buy vacation homes and snowbirds that come down here and buy. And again, obviously, snowbirds are coming from all over the country, all over the world, really. But you've got, you know, you're impacted by the people that were up, you know, in New York and in that area that aren't going to be coming down here and buying vacation homes because they're trying to shore up their primary residents that got hurt. So, while it's not going to be a huge impact for our economy, it's going to have some backlash. We're going to lose some real estate sales. We're going to lose some tourism dollars. We're going to lose some people visiting the area because you're not going to have that as much of an influx of population, because those people up there that were affected are going to say, look, I don't have the couple $1,000s to take the vacation or take the trip down there because I'm dealing with so many other things.
Right, yeah, I definitely think you're right there.
So it's, while it may not, like I said, it may not impact our, insurance, it may not, it's hard to say. It's certainly going to have an impact on our real estate market, and I think that, and on the opposite side of that, and I heard an argument from another broker this week, you'll have people up there that'll be like, hey, if I'm going to be in hurricane's way, I'm just going to go to Florida. So yeah, right. I think it'll also motivate some people to say, look, if I'm going to have to deal with hurricanes here, why not just sell out and move to Florida? So, you got both sides of the fence. It's going to have an impact. It's going to move some people.
Yeah, I remember shortly after 9/11, we had quite an influx of people from the New York area that were coming down here and buying homes. So
right.
They had just kind of thrown in the towel and said, well, I'm
tired of New York.
Yep,
I'm tired of dealing with the traffic and everything else. So, and I mean, we are Florida for a reason,
Yeah.
We're the second coming of New York here in Tampa, Florida.
Right.
So,